Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, we're going to be discussing the 2004 film, The Alamo, starring Billy Bob Thornton, Dennis Quaid, and I think also Jason Patrick was also in this film as well. And of course, you know what the movie is about. That's been reading the title. It's about the 1836 attack by the Mexican army on the Alamo, which is near San Antonio, Texas, and they killed, and it wasn't even close. It was like worse than Pearl Harbor, because at least there were people who survived the Pearl Harbor attack. And the Alamo, nobody lived. The whole Mexican army wiped out everyone who was in there, and some of them were the most famous Americans, at least folk heroes at the time. Jim Bowie, who of course made the knife, the Bowie knife, and of course the real big legend, big name that was killed in the Alamo was Davy Crockett. And of course it was famous in the 1950s and 1960s with the Disney television show Davy Crockett with that theme song. You know, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. So you have, but actually in this version, Billy Bob Thornton plays Davy Crockett. I know there was a different version, original version with John Wayne as Davy Crockett. But you know and of course I should mention that Dennis Quaid plays Sam Houston, and Jason Patrick plays Jim Bowie. So those are the three main characters. Well, of course, the problem they have with movies like this is, of course, how historically accurate is it? Of course, you don't know who said what, when, and you have to physically be there and live about over 100, and more than 200 years later to really get it down accurate. Who said what, when, so you can accurately film it, put it in the film. So, of course, since now everybody knows what in there at the time, you know that. I mean, today, at that time, 2004, nobody who's living in 2004 was alive back in 1839 when the Alamo was attacked. It was almost impossible to know who said what when, who did what when, and that type of thing. But the problem I have with this movie is that it doesn't. It does go into it, but it doesn't go into it far enough for me for what motivated the Mexican army to go in and attack the Alamo. And why did they decide to attack it? And so, well, that's because and like I said, they did go into it, but not far enough to satisfy me from a historic standpoint. Because they touched on it, saying, because there were rebels there, and we'll make sure that we keep control of Texas. Because Texas was a Mexican territory at that time, like it or not. Same thing with New Mexico, Arizona, and parts of California were, or at least the southern part of California, was in Mexican control. I think at one time all of California was in Mexican control. But the southern part of the United States was in Mexican control, believe it or not. Or part of America was in Mexican control, but the biggest territory they had was Texas. That was the main territory they had, and they want to make sure, and the Mexican government want to make sure that they keep Texas in control and not lose it to the United States. But American settlers settled in Texas. There was a group of Texans or Americans who settled in Texas because they thought it was a new territory, and Americans can't settle there at that time. But there was a stink in the Mexican government that too many American settlers were settling in Texas. So they wanted to make sure that the Mexican government wanted them to know that, hey, they were in control, even though we were allowing you to live here, but you have to follow Mexican government law and not United States law. So there's a whole bunch of legal wrangling and government and political wrangling going on for that. So they ran into that a little bit more, and I think it would have been a better movie. But I know they had all that stuff in the original film. I never saw the original film, only in bits and pieces, really. When the attack was already starting on the Alamo, that's why I saw it on the original movie. But this film, I thought that the attack was well in the 2004 version, I thought it was done well. And the same guy, or I should mention that John Lee Hancock, who directed the 2002 film, The Rookie, a Rocky story with Dennis Quaid as well, directed this film. And I thought he did a good job with the actual attack on the Alamo. And of course, the thing was that Sam Houston didn't want to go and rescue everybody to rescue the Alamo because they only had like couple of hundred men, and you have the Mexican army was up in the thousands. So it was like an overwhelming shot. Of course, after the attack, you thought, okay, after the attack, that'll be the end of the movie. But no, they added this extra battle at the end where they actually captured Santa Anna, General Santa Anna, who was the general who led the Mexican army to attack the Alamo. So they had that battle. So almost like within 10 minutes after the attack on the Alamo, where Sam Houston's army found out or got word that everybody got wiped out at the Alamo, according to Davy Crockett and Sam Bowie. They all got wiped out, and so they set up or they maneuvered Santa Anna's army to go fight in this battlefield because Sam Houston knew that the Mexican army is not good fighting on the battlefield. They're good at attacking forts or a standing position, but not in an open battlefield. Like I'm experienced in attacking guys in the battlefield. So if I could maneuver them on this open field here, then we could, attack them and fight them. And of course, according to the movie, I don't know how true it is, but according to the movie, it flashed on the fact that that particular battle just after the Alamo, when they captured Santa Anna, took place in 18 minutes. That Sam Houston's army kicked their ass in about 18 minutes. It was like one of the shortest battles you can ever see. In less than 20 minutes, Santa Anna surrendered, and they want to know how to execute him. Unfortunately, they did not execute him at the time because they want to bring him to Sam Houston wanted to bring him to trial and stuff, and bring him up on federal charges. And that's pretty much what happened. And of course, the Battle of the Alamo, even though it took place like a decade later, in 1846, that's when you had these. The Battle of the Alamo, or the attack on the Alamo, led into the Mexican War in the 1840s. It lasted like 2 years, 1846 to 1848, and led into that war. So it was kind of interesting. And they always have remember the line, "Remember the Alamo." There was the thing, and they actually used that line before the final battle against Santa Anna, which I just mentioned in the end of this movie. Dennis Quaid says, "Remember Sam Houston yells, 'Remember the Alamo,' and they used that motivation to get even with Santa Anna and the Mexican army." And I thought, like I said, it was a good movie, and like I said, it showed that more, at least give more even balance between the Americans and the Mexicans' motivation of for the Alamo. And that's everything. I think they should have expanded that part of the movie more, and then maybe expand on eventually on the attack. I thought they did a good job on the attack, but I thought they should have expanded it more on the motivation of both sides, or equally do it both sides. Like they did with the 1994 film, the Gettysburg movie, which I know it's a long movie, it was over 4 hours, that film, but at least they equally balanced both sides, the Northern Army and the Southern Army. They did an equal balance to describe the motivation of both sides. I think they should have done deeper in that, in my opinion. Well, that's my review of the movie The Alamo. Please click on the video, please rate my channel, and please forward this video to your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rowdyc.com, that's all WDY, and that's c.com, that's the homepage of the Rowdy Reviewer. Please need more, and please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.